fury mounted, he smote his brow and he suddenly said, "Trains in brains, by God." Trains in brains. That was his inspiration. 1845 they began the parliamentary process. 1863, as we have just commemorated, the first train began. And we've just, I think, had a feeling of the incredible achievement of our great-grandparents, the vision, the boldness to do something with a technology that was barely, what, 30 or 40 years old. I mean, the train had only just finished killing the Secretary of the Board of Trade, if I remember, on its first landing. And they had the courage to put that revolutionary technology in tunnels under London. I want to make one point to you today: we need to have the same boldness and the same courage in our generation, and to keep the funding coming in our railway. And have certainty of funding in the long term. And we're doing fantastic things, aren't we? Here in London and indeed elsewhere in the country. The new rolling stock on the subsurface line, one of the things we just in the huge worm-like S-stock trains, air-conditioned. 40% of the LU is going to have those. The Victorian line, I think I'm right in saying, is going up to 33 trains an hour. No, that's a record. The Jubilee line, as I never tire of saying, 3 miles an hour faster than it was when I was first elected. Already Crossrail's gigantic excavations can be seen more or less from the moon. And in a couple of weeks, and I hope very much to see many of you there. In a couple of weeks, we will be launching, together with London First, we will be launching the prospective route for Crossrail 2, my friend. Do we not need Crossrail 2? And I hope, to wind up, I hope that in 150 years' time, our great-grandchildren look back at this epoch, you know, when, by the way, our great-grandchildren will, I expect, be using Crossrail 7 to go from the borough of Birmingham to the Thames Estuary Airport. I hope that they look back at this generation and say that we had vision today and that we lived up to the traditions of our Victorian forefathers. It's been an amazing year for TfL and an amazing year for London Underground. LU staff, everybody at LU helped to deliver, I think, a very, very great Olympic and Paralympic Games. Performance. You folks, everybody involved, you've cut delays on the tube network, you've cut delays by 40% over the last 4 years, to be considered entirely at random, and you are going through, as I say, a colossal period of investment, and you have today, to crown it all, today you have defied health and safety. You have righted the health and safety fanatics by putting on our railway a 120-year-old vehicle that was patently unfit for the service, belching all kinds of so chaotic. A beautiful and romantic experience, but above all reminding Londoners of the cramped conditions enjoyed by our Victorian forefathers, and also, of course, that fares in those days were very considerably higher in real terms than they are today. Well done, London Underground, on an amazing 150 years, and here's the next 150 years of the London Underground system, the best tube network anywhere in the world. Thank you. And now it gives me great pleasure to hand over to a man who not only came up with the idea for today's brilliant demonstration, but has also been deservedly recognised by Her Majesty for his service to transport in London, Sir Peter Henry.
it does show you how far we've progressed, because although you do have a very comfortable seat, the degree of privacy compared to the bright light and the safety and security of a modern train, because you could be sitting in this all by yourself, and then some very unpleasant character.
Distinguished people, brilliant public servants and businessmen here who are absolutely agog at the idea of being in a steam train, but also it's a celebration of 150 years of the greatest underground railway on earth, and we can't miss our train, can we? I'm about to get on, and I think there's a huge amount of enthusiasm.
How has London Underground kept at the forefront of technology over a century?
The critical thing is not to let the investment dry up. And if you look at the period of the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, I'm afraid the 60s, there was a period when vital funds were choked off, and so we weren't able to put in the modernisation that a great city needs. London's now going to take about 1 million more people. London mothers are producing huge numbers of babies. We are going to see 1 million more people by 2025. We must put in the transport infrastructure to pay.
And how important, fundamentally, is the underground network to the City of London?
I think it's spiritually very important. I think London's, the identity of the city is at least partially defined by that fantastic map, the beautiful, what's the word, symbolic map. It's not geographically accurate, as everybody knows, but it sums up something about the spirit of the city. People love that map and they love the underground.
We've got 2 different versions. Which sound well, no, if you prefer, should we do it now and get out of the way?
He knows what.
Or run over Stevens.
What?